Okay.
Here with the Crawley Wasps manager Paul Walker after a 4-0 win over Hounslow. Paul, you had to work hard for it, but you got over the line in the end in that second half.
Yeah, we did. First of all, as I would always, after a game, give credit to Hounslow. I think they worked hard for 90 minutes and at times frustrated us a lot during the game. Probably a lot more than I was hoping, to be perfectly honest.
After the Plymouth game, when two of your new signings scored on their debuts, you also had a goal for Charlotte Owen right at the beginning of that, and a goal for the returning Rebecca Carter. These signings are turning out to be inspirational, aren't they?
Yeah, I was pleased with that. I mean, I think it's good for both of those players from the point of view of betting into a new side and a bit of confidence, getting themselves on the team sheet. I'm pleased for Charlotte first half, and Rebecca, I think, knocked in the four for the goals. Bit of a frustrating afternoon, if I'm honest. We weren't quite at the levels that I expect, but credit to us what we did do. At half time, as we spoke about that, and we kept the discipline, we kept plugging away. We've made some changes second half, and that we made a couple of changes, introduced a little bit more of a competitive threat, and that I think paid dividend really.
Hope Nash as well played very well. Again, fouled for the penalty, but a real impact was made by Maria Ledesma Viso when she came on, because she showed a lot of pace, albeit against tiring defenders, but a lot of pace, a lot of directness, and no little skill as well.
Yeah, Maria, I mean, to be perfectly honest, had the same impact at Oxford last week. We gave her longer this. In this fixture, but she's a player, as you described there, Andrew. She's direct, she's pacey, she's brave, she's intelligent on the ball, and she will and does cause problems for defences. It's a great option to have as part of a squad. She's one of a number of really pleasing signings this season.
Now, for various different reasons, you've not been able to, and also not chosen to select the same 11 for these first 3 games. People have come in and gone out and chopped and changed, and people obviously getting game time as well. But you've won 3, you've scored now 7 goals and conceded none. That's a very pleasing stat for a manager.
Yeah, very pleasing, Andrew. But as you said in our earlier interview, we've got a very challenging September. Which we've just started there, and if we're having the same conversation at the end of September, I'll be properly delighted. At this stage, it's very early. We've had three games, 3 wins, as you said. I'm particularly pleased with the clean sheets. I'm particularly pleased with the way some of the new signings are bedding in. I don't think we've quite got into our stride yet, if I'm absolutely honest. Some of that is that we have had quite a few changes in personnel in terms of the team, week to week. Some of that has been enforced, and some of that is about early season, still working through some of the players in positions and the chemistry, and getting that chemistry working well.
Well, you talked about you're pleased with the clean sheets, and you talked about the impact of the new signings. I want to talk about 2 players who have been here, certainly in terms of the first team last season as well. Ellie Russell at centre-back, who played at Oxford and then played again today in the absence of Charlotte Young. And then Lauren Graves, who's come in for Frankie Gibbs, who cut her hand and should apparently be fit for Wednesday against Chichester. But Lauren, a teenager who made a first team debut in the Cup last season and then a league debut later on. This time kept a clean sheet and with a brilliant save as well.
Yeah, and I think for her that's fantastic for her confidence. It again reinforces the confidence that we have in her and the squad have in her as a backup to Frankie. She's a good young keeper. We were surprised that actually she was going to be ready for this game, having been out for 6 or 7 weeks. She didn't, if I'm honest, have too much to do today, to be honest. But what she did do, handling and with her feet, was assured. And then, as you quite rightly said, Andrew, probably with the only shot they had in the game, she pulled off an absolutely excellent save. So delighted, and as I said, good for her confidence.
And Ellie as well slots in very nicely at the back there.
Yeah, Ellie joined us last season. She came to us from Portsmouth. Part of the way through the season, so she was understudy to Charlotte and to Darcy for a lot of that season, but she's got to this point now where she's a very good player. She's put in some very good performances at the start of this season, and it's a delight to have her as one of 3 very, very high quality centre backs.
You talked about that tough September, what the Wasps Twitter account is billing Super September against 3 of the last season's top 5 and Yeovil, a former Super League team. Watford, Cambridgeshire, Oxford to come in that run. But let's just talk about those next 2 games first of all. Chichester away on Wednesday night and Yeovil away next Sunday. First of all, Chichester under lights, Sussex derby. Doesn't get much better than that, does it?
No, it doesn't. I think we're all looking forward to that game. I mean, Chichester again are a club who have been doing things the right way. Had a very, very successful season last year. Proven at this level, they have, as we know, and it's well documented, they have had quite a few players move to other clubs, which means that quite a lot of their development squad has come into that first team. So and they've got new manager there. So that's a new challenge of gelling all of that together. But as you quite rightly said, playing on your home ground in front, hopefully, of a crowd on a midweek fixture under lights. That's going to be a game that we're going to have to concentrate hard and be on our game to make sure that we can go down there and be very competitive.
And finally, Yeovil next Sunday. Obviously, it's the fixture that perhaps everybody was looking out for when it was away at Yeovil, not just because it's a long journey, but also because obviously a former Super League side. Yes, they've had their well-documented troubles. The squad is a lot younger than it might have been last time out, but there's still some quality players in there, and they've proven, they've beaten Hounslow quite comfortably. They've beaten Chichester as well now, so they're going to be a real threat, aren't they?
Well, they are, and they have got quality in their squad. They obviously they did lose players that stepped up to the Championship, but they've retained some good players, and they've actually recruited a number of good players into that squad. They put 7 past Hounslow away from home, or 9 past Hounslow. We only managed 4, so they clearly have got potential in that final third. So we've got to be very conscious of that, and that will test our as we said earlier on. You talked about the clean sheets. That will probably be the biggest test that we're going to have, or we'll have had so far, defensively.
But also for some of the players, obviously there's new players who have played at this level before anyway, but for some of the players, those games against Arsenal and Blackburn Rovers, this is the sort of game where those experiences will come in handy.
Very much so, very much so. And obviously we've got a fantastic captain in Ione, who's a leader, but we've also got other players, as you say, Andrew, that have got the experience. And in games like that, that's where you want that experience to come through and that quality to come through. So, September, we're looking forward to it, and hopefully in 4 weeks' time we can be standing here and we can be having a positive conversation.
Paul, thank you very much, and well done today.
Thanks very much. Cheers.